So for our group project, we'll be doing a short PowerPoint presentation over Hurricane Maria. Our group includes Nick Coburn,
Jonathan Fonja,
Jacqueline Medina,
and Andrew Bateman.
So Hurricane Maria was the Category 5 hurricane that affected the northeastern Caribbean islands such as Puerto Rico, Cuba, and the Dominica. Hurricane Maria was regarded as the worst natural disaster to strike the Caribbean islands. Originating as a tropical wave, the storm quickly intensified and was classified as a Category 5 hurricane on September 18, 2017. It first made landfall in the Dominica, devastating the country and causing massive amounts of damage to the country's infrastructure and economy. After passing through Dominica, Maria struck Puerto Rico as a Category 4 hurricane, causing similar devastating damages. So for some background info on how hurricanes are formed, hurricanes first start out forming near the equator. This warm, moist air that forms rises upward, leaving an area of low pressure near the surface. Air from this surrounding high pressure swirls in to take the vacated surface area. This new moist air becomes warm and rises, leading to a low pressure area falling to the surface. As this warm, moist air rises and cools off, the water in the air forms clouds. Fed by the ocean's heat, wind generated from the creation of these clouds intensifies and grows. As this wind rotates faster and reaches 74 miles per hour, it is officially considered as a hurricane.
On September 13th, the NHC reported the formation of two tropical waves. One wave spun to the east, which later became Hurricane Lee, and another moving westward, which is Hurricane Maria. Due to favorable weather conditions, the westward tropical wave was able to pick up circulation and organize itself very quickly. In just 4 days, the tropical wave had developed a formative eye, with winds reaching 74 miles per hour. At 1800 Universal Time, the NHC upgraded the newly named Maria to hurricane status. Over the following days, Hurricane Maria steadily intensified, achieving Category 5 status. At its peak on September 20th, Maria generated winds of over 175 miles per hour, and pressure bottomed out at 908 mbar, which is a pressure unit pressure. The now extinct volcanic island, Puerto Rico, lies on a dynamic plate boundary between two tectonic plates, the North American plate and the Caribbean plate. These two plate boundaries slide past each other in what is called a transform boundary. Due to this, the island of Puerto Rico is seismically active, averaging 5 earthquakes of at least 1.5 magnitude every day. Despite the high numbers, these earthquakes and aftershocks are too small to be felt by the population. Despite low magnitude averages, the major disasters have still occurred in the region. In 1918, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake accompanied by a tsunami struck this island.
Puerto Rico suffered immense damages caused by Hurricane Maria. The island was hit with over 20 inches of rain, leading to 30 rivers and Puerto Rico flooding. Due to over 40,000 landslides triggered during the disaster, massive structural damage occurred, leaving many citizens homeless and causing widespread destruction of nearly all road signs and traffic lights. A month after the disaster, only 8% of roads were open for public usage. The disaster also led to widespread blackouts and loss of electricity. 5 months after Maria, a quarter of Puerto Rican citizens still had no power. The official death toll of Hurricane Maria has led to mass controversy. Due to false reports and poor death certification practices, an official figure is hard to determine. An estimate based on a study by George Washington University found the death toll to likely be between 2,658 up to 3,290. This study led the government of Puerto Rico to list the official death toll at 2,975. We can see the destruction of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico in these two examples of images.
Some of the economic losses and recovery process are: Hurricane Maria has been the third costliest hurricane on record. Cost of the damage were estimated at $90 billion USA. Puerto Rico has seen an economic crisis before Hurricane Maria, following an 11-year recession. The cost will not only be in physical damage, but also in lost economic opportunities caused by the hurricane, and the hurdles that follow immediately after, such as loss of electricity, and widespread blackouts. Additionally, the economy will suffer due to the permanent migration of working citizens to other countries, middle class and professionals, in search of safer opportunities and greater income. To put the damages in perspective, Puerto Rico annual GDP is around $105 billion. Statistics on recurrence of the hurricane. Puerto Rico has a long history of many recurring disastrous hurricanes. In a 150-year time span, from 1867 to present, Puerto Rico has had 42 major hurricanes. 16 were Category 3, 17 were Category 4, and 9 were Category 5 hurricanes. The recurrence interval of a major hurricane in Puerto Rico is 3.5 years. The recurrence interval of a Category 4 hurricane happens every 5.8 years, and a Category 5 hurricane occurs every 17 years.